Welcome to PSA. My name is Felix, if we haven't met yet. And if you're back, I appreciate your constant support. But I would like to challenge you to share this video and share some of the other videos if you find something in them that you think could help somebody else. When you guys like and subscribe, you're helping us grow this community that is dedicated to growing stronger with you. Today I wanted to share some thoughts about creating with purpose. Oh, and excuse my Yankee rally jersey. Go Yankees! When I lead a creative session, I take a look around the room and I take inventory of what I know people have done. I might have you share some highlights if I'm unfamiliar with your work, but then I quickly shift directions by pointing us towards our goal, and then I ask these questions. What has no one ever done before to fix this issue? What has no one ever created to serve this problem? What solution have we not seen before? Now, I know this could sound like a rhetorical question because if no one has ever done it, how could we know about it? You can't know what you don't know, or can you? In the book of Jeremiah 1:4, it says, "The word of the Lord came to me saying," it's very important right there, remember that. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." A prophet, by definition, is someone who can predict the future. Too many of us have sight, but no vision. Your sight is anchored by the present, but your vision is freed to the future. What does your vision see? You know, we are living in a present that people envisioned years ago. And actually, a lot of what we're experiencing, they didn't even know was possible, and we ended up surprising ourselves by having to adapt. We are the only species with the resiliency and capacity of creativity to problem solve at scale and foreshadow to solve problems that may have not even taken place yet. Now, does that not sound like what God spoke to Jeremiah? The catch is, the majority of these problems are usually created by us as well. But what if our visions were aligned from the start? What if we were creating in the manner we were created to? What lens are you using while creating the future? When our visions become clearer, the decisions become easier. I know, if you don't believe you are created in the likeness of the ultimate creator, even though we have this prowess to create, you may be answering your own questions as to why you can't actualize your vision. The pace that humanity is able to create the future is only increasing every day, and to think that it's limited by evolution and not limitless by a freedom to flow as a supreme being is dictating to us is ridiculous to me. Closed minds won't open new doors. When your efforts meet God's purpose for your life, visions become reality. Too often, we miss our purpose because we're focused on the prefix, our, instead of focusing on the purpose part. Purpose serves others. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created for. The reason for which something exists. Purpose is one's intention or objective. Purpose is the answer to a problem. Now, another prophet in the Bible who had, dare I say, a lot of complaints to God was Habakkuk. Habakkuk would complain to God, and God would reply with a vision. Last week I stated, the mess that you're blessed to see might be the change that you need to be. But have you ever been around the person that walks past the garbage in the office or the tipped over chair and doesn't pick it back up? You know, the person who might walk by someone who needs some help and doesn't stop to help them? I had a contract to do some marketing and creative direction, and it included me putting up a billboard. And I could have easily trapped a cool photo and laid some text over it and just moved along. But after my creative process that I mentioned before, I decided I wanted to use this famous photo of my friend who was known for doing huge airs on his skateboard, and I wanted him flying above the billboard. So I called the billboard company and I explained the idea, and they said they couldn't do it. The owner of the company said it couldn't be done. But instead of complaining, I went to the printer, I printed out the photo, I went to the kitchen, I grabbed a clear straw, sipping straw, and after some glue, staples, scissors, and some cardboard, I shot a photo of my mock-up, and I called back the billboard company and I said, check your email. When they saw the mock-up, they were at a loss for words, and I said, if I can do this in a few moments, we have one of two answers. You guys need to hire me, or you can too. Short story long, we got on the phone with the city of West Hollywood, we got air clearance above the billboard, we found the right plexiglass, and we mounted my friend sailing above the billboard. My friend's name is Christian Asoy, and many years before he was a believer, he invented this air on his skateboard called the Christ air because of the posture he would take when he would blast out of the ramp. To let you in on a little secret, I was actually looking forward to putting a 6-foot cross in his signature above the top of Fairfax. God knows we need some Jesus over there too. I digress. Now back to Habakkuk. Habakkuk did not like Israel's behavior, and he was praying to God for help. Might have been doing a little complaining too. God answers by saying he will send the army of Babylon to teach them a lesson, but Habakkuk doesn't like the answer he's receiving. Might God be sharing with you the answer you need, but it might not be the answer you like? He questions God. How are you, a holy God, going to use such a corrupt nation as your instrument to fix this moment in history? Then God answers him clearly. Habakkuk 2:2. And then God answered, write this. Write what you see. Write it out in big block letters so that it can be read on the run. The vision, the message is a witness pointing toward what's coming. It aches for the coming. It can hardly wait, and it doesn't lie. If it seems slow in coming, wait. It is on its way. It will come right on time. How often do we feel like we're waiting for the Lord's answer and we can't figure out why it's not coming? But it's coming right on time. But we need to make it bold, block letters that are easily legible. No subterfuge, no sneaky message. It needs to be blatant and obvious to who's ready to receive it at a glance. Don't apologize for what bothers you. Respond to it. The Bible says it's okay to be angry, but sin not. Don't silence the voice of your soul. Is someone waiting for a blessing that you're supposed to be, but you're not acknowledging it because it doesn't seem like the right time? Sometimes the space we are in will limit our vision, but we need to focus on God's vision for a better future. God is being so literal again, like when he spoke to Moses in the 10 Commandments. Write the vision out in big block letters on tablets. The righteous person will live by their faith first and their vision afterwards. God's answer to Habakkuk tells us to cast clear vision, a call to action that can bring the change that's needed, even if there isn't a reference to look back to. We have a daily reminder when we get in our cars that our windshield is almost 90% bigger than our rear view mirror, because where we are going is so much more important than where we have been. Habakkuk is an example to us that the righteous live by faith and alignment with God's vision first. Just like we can't run and do whatever we want without speaking to our answer to at work, why would you think you can go and create whatever you want without consulting with who created you first? When it's all working out, the world calls it flow, in the zone. They might say you just blacked out and it just happened. But the reality is, when your alignment meets your assignment, it all moves at God's speed. then we get the benefit of being referred to as an overnight success. Brace yourself. Here comes a harsh truth. There is no such thing as an overnight success. So if your vision feels like it's a little sticky, I would start with assessing your alignment with God right now. I know it's much easier to complain, and it might even feel empowering. Jeremiah, who I quoted earlier, was referred to as the weeping prophet. In fact, one of the books he wrote was called Lamentations. It's like the book of complaints. You ever feel like that? I know I do sometimes. But in my opinion, one of the most powerful things Jeremiah ever said, and it's words that I live by, God's words are in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones, and I'm weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. Regardless to how grim things got, Jeremiah knew that the key was to reset in God's word. Maybe you're like, I don't believe in God and I'm doing just fine right now. But imagine how much better you could be doing with God at your side. We either worship our creations or our Creator. Creations will never end, so that might be why you always feel a void, a sense of incompletion. But when you worship your Creator, you now begin to find a sense of completion and begin to align yourself with your purpose, and that will fill a void. The Creator that created you with a purpose, for a purpose, just like when you try and find a key on a big keychain, you know, the janitor keychain, it may take a few tries and a little jiggling, but when the right key is aligned with the right keyhole, that door swings right open with ease. So let's stop struggling to fit in when God has designed us to simply stand out. Let's leave some comments below with maybe some ideas and some visions, some thoughts that maybe stirred up with this message, and let's see if we can loan each other some support as a community. I know there's so many creatives here watching these messages, and I believe we're better together, so let's lean into this, let's love more, and I'll see you at the next PSA. Thank you guys for joining me for another week. Make sure you click through and check out some of the other videos. There's over a dozen other topics, and share them with someone you think they could help. Take care.